If 2016 taught us anything, it's that sometimes things start hopeful and end like a dumpster fire. And that is why we are talking about 2016's greatest disappointments in gaming.
Video games.
Because the other version of this video would be too long. This was, I think like every year we start out very hopeful, especially when E3 comes around or the previous E3 starts delivering in their Q1 projected releases. One of the things I was most disappointed about this year, and I think the world will agree with me, is No Man's Sky. And I only have myself to blame, honestly.
Did you buy it?
I did. I paid $60 of my own money on it.
That's unfortunate.
No, I actually uninstalled it from my PS4.
Right.
And I know that it has been patched since, but I was just like,
don't even bother.
I've given you too much of my time and hopes. We should have known when we looked at Hello Games Past that they're not capable of producing something this scope that they promised, by the way, there is video evidence, would deliver, and it was never really there, and it just like, it stung, it hurt.
I will say that it is a disappointment, but I personally feel like it's an overhyped disappointment. Yes, they had a lot of promises that they wanted to deliver on. I don't think the game was ever really going to be that good, to be honest with you, but there was so much like over-promising and under-delivering. Unfortunately, No Man's Sky became like the show dog for over-promising and under-delivering.
Maybe they shouldn't have given it a showcase at E3, where we were all like, what is this? This happens so often. When you look back at Watch Dogs from Ubisoft, the original launch trailer from E3 it will blow your mind. And then when what was actually delivered was a huge...
Yeah, but then Watch Dogs 2 is great.
Sure.
Or at least it's an improvement on it, and then nobody bought it.
Well, because they've already feel betrayed, I guess. I don't think Watch Dogs is necessarily a terrible game, but it's not what we thought we were getting, and that's a problem.
I should also put as a disclaimer on this, just because I feel like we've been talking a lot of negative stuff, is that a lot of great games happened and a lot of good moments for gaming happened in 2016 too. These are just the ones that sucked.
Well, maybe at the end you can bring us up on a high note with one thing that you liked. Did you have one that you want to talk about?
Disappointment?
Yeah. Okay, I'll jump in again.
Yeah, I was going to say jump in while I think about
it. Disney Infinity got killed off by Disney.
Oh yeah, that sucks.
It looked like it was going to go somewhere promising, like they were going to implement new features that people had always been asking for, and then unexpectedly Disney shuttered it.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of those. I mean, Skylanders being the obvious competition between it, you don't even get a chance to like have fun little minifigs. There was room for both. There didn't need to be like just one person making minifigs in a video gaming world. We could have easily had Disney Infinity and Skylanders. I guess.
But if you look at these characters, you would think, oh, there's no way they can beat the Disney pantheon of characters. They all have these rich stories behind them. And I remember I played a demo with like the Frozen characters, and I was just thinking, what does this have to do with Frozen at all? These are just like characters that could be anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess there wasn't just a way to enrich the environment, it was just a way to do mashups.
I mean, then LEGO has their version. It does seem like they're delivering in a way that perhaps...
LEGO has their version?
Yeah, they have their own version.
Doing figs?
You can mix different worlds together.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And if you don't want to play the game and just want the figs, you can do that too. And that's a cool thing to get into. I have another one that I can't believe I didn't think of earlier or say first, which is Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go first launched, we were all into it. We were psyched, we were hyped. I was on that hype train too.
Yeah, cultural phenomenon coming into it. I expressly went to places like the aquarium, and I went out and like jogged with my kid because I could participate in Pokemon Go.
I did read an article that was talking about Pokemon Go. Was it successful in getting people to exercise? And the answer is yes, but for a short amount of time. Because what we discovered was while it's fun to catch Pokemon, while AR is awesome, and this does mean great things for AR in the future, or AR-based games at least, the mechanics of this game aren't great. It's just flicking. It's just collective hoarding for no real sense of purpose. There was no trainer battling.
I think it's unfortunate because it is they could have expanded the game out and done more more with it.
I think they're doing more now, but it's
too little, too late.
Yes.
And these things take time to develop, unfortunately. And I think, and I've heard this talked about from other people too, is that Pokemon Go, the company that put it together, who also made Niantic, but they made another game very similar to this, Ingress. They had no idea that they were going to create a cultural phenomenon when they got the game out. And then it just kind of like, they probably were going to take their time to expand it, and they had to expedite a whole bunch of things. And the whims of
It's not something I
people.
feel I would give. I would revisit this one day, but it's just right now I want something else.
Give me a reason to go back to Pokemon Go, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, because I did have so much fun with it. I used up a lot of data on my plan, just walking around, catching things, and it did get me to go on walks that I wouldn't have normally taken.
Yeah.
And I did get to meet up with a bunch of weirdos at the park at 10 at night.
I lurked inside of apartments that I just hung out. Like there was
Ivan, that's creepy.
There's a Pokestop that was several blocks from my house that was in front of an apartment building, and it literally looked like it was just a bunch of us like nerds in hoodies just lurking and doing gym battles. It was a little surreal, to be honest. But the thing that I think disappointed me intensely in 2016 is this metric about Steam and shovelware.
Tell me more.
So this metric blew my mind in that 40% of all total Steam releases that are currently in the library came out this year alone. So to say that a little less than half of the games that are available on Steam at the moment, a little less than half of those only came out in 2016, which means that just a lot of people are realizing that Steam is a very potentially profitable market for getting a game out easily and cheaply. And there is just now an influx of titles that are coming into it.
I have done stories about titles that sucked, basically, and
I'm assuming there's just a lot
swindled
of crap.
people.
There's just a lot of crap on Steam, unfortunately, and Steam has been one of those celebrated places in which, has beaten the mold of how we traditionally got our games, and I'd hate to see it become a place in which it's just gross. It's just like I don't even know what to get anymore unless people are reviewing it, and and since the community is doing everything they can in order to just make sure that games are curated a little bit, whether they're good or bad. That there will be ways that people will find around this at some point, and we're just going to have a bunch of bots that are doing positive up views so that people can buy a game, get it, be disappointed, give an honest review, rinse and repeat. Unless Steam actually takes some time to curate or do what Netflix does and constantly cycle through their catalog and their library a little bit and try to get titles out of there that either are underperforming or were clearly made in order to come in, make a couple $1,000s, and then leave.
I mean, there's a lot of things that didn't go so great this year. There were also some excellent follow-ups to games that weren't received so well. You mentioned earlier off the top, Watch Dogs 2, which is not a bad game, but it's not getting the play it deserves, perhaps. Dishonored 2 falls into that.
Yeah, it was a harder game. It was really hard compared to the first one, but it was still a good game.
Titanfall 2 is, I think, not arguably a better game than Titanfall. However, it's not selling as well. So it's just, and then we also have shuttered studios. Like we have Lionhead gone. We have United Front. We've just heard some more news about Crytek closing a bunch of studios. And I think it does show a little bit of disappointing. 2017 might be better in gaming, might find more to be happy about.
Right, well, I'm still, and like I said, there's some good stuff that came out this year too, like Final Fantasy 15, I personally feel like has finally made the next best title beyond 7.
I still haven't played it.
In my personal opinion. Like 15, there's a lot of jokes about it being the 60-hour road trip, but it's a really good game with a great story, and it is my favorite title beyond 7 at the moment.
I liked 10.
You like 10?
I did. I cried.
You and Cassandra, you both love 10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I cried a lot at the end, and that was when I was like, I really like video games. I got more into them, so maybe it holds a special spot in my heart. See, there is some goodness yet to come, everyone.
15's good. Go buy 15.
Go buy whatever game you want, but don't buy No Man's Sky from Hello Games. I am going to say do not do that. Audience, what was your greatest gaming disappointment of 2016 or outright failure? Please let us know below in the comments, and please like and subscribe for more.